What we know is that she had an elective surgery and a day later she died. Doctor Who killed Donda West. I think I was set up as the fall guy. I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed. The last man to see Kanye's mother, Da, alive has kept a low profile for years. There have been NDAs, investigations, and a whole lot of finger-pointing between him and the surgeon. Now he's breaking his silence. But some of the things he said didn't just clear the air. They raised even more questions about that night died. It's been almost 2 decades since Dr. D. West passed after cosmetic surgery, and people are still talking about what really happened that night. For years, the story was kind of brushed off as a tragic accident. But if you've been around the internet long enough, you've heard the rumors, and Kanye himself said it directly. His mom was sacrificed. But what does that even mean? Was Kanye speaking metaphorically to say he neglected his mom while he was chasing success? Why did he use the word sacrifice? And then there are all the weird details that never seem to add up. The surgeon blamed the nurse for negligence. The nurse said that's not true. The car runner gave one explanation, but people who were around DA that night say something different. And when you put all these puzzle pieces together, the picture starts looking a lot darker than what the headlines told us back in 2007. So, what really happened in that house the night Donda West died? Why is her nurse only speaking out now? And how much of this ties into the rumors about industry sacrifices? Let's break it down. This is the part that I feel as if she's speaking from the grave. If you could come by on Friday evening or even call, that would be great. So, let's start with a little background on what went down with Dr. Wanda West's death, because it's way weirder than what most people realize. DA passed away on November 10, 2007 at just 58 years old after getting cosmetic surgery. That's the official story. But when the autopsy came out, it didn't exactly clear things up. It actually made everything more confusing. The report said multiple post-operative factors could have played a role, which is basically medical speak for we don't really know. At the same time, it insisted there was no evidence of surgical or anesthetic misadventure. So, in other words, nothing technically went wrong with the surgery itself. And to top it off, the deputy medical examiner stated that the manner of death could not be determined. So from the very beginning, there was this uncertainty hanging over the case. Nothing was ruled out, but nothing was confirmed either. And that's exactly why so many rumors started flying. So after the coroner's report dropped, the LA authorities jumped in to investigate. And what they found out about Dr. Jan Adams, the surgeon who operated on Kanye's mom, was pretty shocking. Turns out he wasn't exactly squeaky clean. The guy had a DUI on his record. And as if that wasn't enough, he'd also been hit with not one but 2 major settlements for surgical malpractice. And if the surgeon's sketchy past wasn't enough, Dr. Adams' behavior after DA's death was, well, weird to say the least. Just 10 days. Later, on November 20th, 2007, he showed up on Larry King Live. And you'd think he tried to calmly explain what happened, right? Well, the moment Larry started asking questions about the procedures he'd done on DA, Dr. Adams got super defensive. And then out of nowhere, he walked off the set. But I'll continue to honor. They're just a few things having nothing to do with them. Don't you want to speak out? No, you don't want to. No, I do not. All right. But you came here to speak out. That's correct. But I'm going to honor their wishes. Now, a few months later, Dr. Adams came back for another round on Larry King Live, saying he was there to defend himself and clear his name. But as soon as Larry started digging into what actually happened to DA, Adams started dodging questions left and right. And he also brought his lawyer along. So every time Larry tried to press, the lawyer would jump in to shut it down. Certainly not accurate. Did the autopsy clear you of any involvement, do you think, in her death? I think the autopsy speaks for itself. Period. You know, Larry, if I can jump in here for 1 second, one of the things that I wanted to address here today is you can say things about me, I can say things about you, and people can say things about each other out on the street, but Dr. Adams is a physician. And because he's a physician, he's in a position where he is not able to comment on any care or any discussions that he's had with any of his patients, including Dr. West and any other patients. And because of all this, plus the fact that Dr. Adams had a history of DUIs and malpractice lawsuits, Most people automatically assumed he messed up during DA surgery and was just trying to dodge responsibility. But then the story took a wild turn. Adams did an exclusive interview with Inside Edition and dropped some crazy claims. He suggested that Kanye actually knows what really happened to his mom. Kanye West can end this by telling the truth. And what do you believe that truth is? The doctor had nothing to do with his mom's death. West survived the surgery very well. She was at home. Did anything during that surgery go wrong? No. Were there any complications during the surgery? No. Was there anything prior to the operation that gave you pause about operating on this woman? No. And then Dr. Adams pointed fingers at Kanye's cousin, Stefan Scoggins. Stefan, a registered nurse, was allegedly taking care of Da after her surgery. And according to Adams, he left her alone after someone gave her 20 painkillers. Her nurse wasn't there. Her nurse was gone to a baby shower rather than taking care of his aunt. This lady shouldn't be dead. All you had to do is sit her up. And every nurse on the planet knows that. Caregivers gave her, 20 Vicodin tabs in less than 20 hours. Now Stefan, of course, denied all of it. He said he wasn't actually in charge of her post-op care and even shared receipts in the form of an email exchange with DA the night before she died, seemingly proving he hadn't been with her in the days after the surgery. Kanye's cousin, Stefan Scoggins, is coming to Crime Watch Daily to set the record straight about DA's mysterious death, and he's steaming mad. I was, to say the least, ticked off. Ticked off at what Scoggins calls false allegations from Donda West plastic surgeon Dr. Jan Adams. Adams was cleared by investigators in DA's death. Although she had heart disease, no conclusive cause was ever determined. What we know is that she had an elective surgery, and a day later she died. And Dr. Adams' reputation has been in tatters. And now he's pointing the finger at Kanye's cousin, claiming Scoggins, who was a registered nurse, was in charge of her post-op care, and he left her side to go to a family baby shower. It's just a damn lie. And Scoggins says he's got the smoking gun evidence to prove it. Emails he exchanged with DA the night before her surgery. Don't hesitate to let me know if you need anything. Emails that he's sharing publicly for the first time ever right here on Crime Watch Daily. This is the part that I feel as if she's speaking from the grave. If you could come by on Friday evening or even call, that would be great. That clearly never suggested that I was going to be providing her post-operative care because it was never the case. Authorities also looked into Adams' claims about Stefan, but nothing added up. There was no evidence making him a suspect, and he was officially cleared of any wrongdoing. So, yeah, as you can see, there are a lot of strange details surrounding Donda West's tragic passing. But if anything Dr. Adams said is true, then Kanye might actually be sitting on the full story about what really happened to his mom. But if it wasn't Dr. Adams, who did Kanye blame? Well, he said it straight up. He blamed himself. And he even went as far as to say that his mom was sacrificed. And according to Kanye, this happens all the time in Hollywood, where celebs sacrifice their loved ones for fame and fortune. The only person that I serve. My mama ain't here. My mama was sacrificed. Me too. You understand? Yeah. You appreciate Michael Jordan. What about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And here's the creepiest part in all this. It's not just Kanye who's noticed that celebrities often lose loved ones under strange or suspicious circumstances right before their careers blow up. Take A$AP Rocky, for example. He lost several family members, and every time tragedy hit, his fame seemed to skyrocket. Back in 2012, his dad, Adrian Mayers, passed away suddenly, just months after Rocky signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Sony Music and dropped his debut studio album. Then, in January 2015, just 4 months before Rocky was set to release his second studio album, his best friend A$AP Yams died from a suspected OD. Now, the timing of these events could have been just a coincidence, but see, it happened again, in 2018. That year, Rocky's half-sister passed away right before he dropped his third studio album, Testing. So after all of this, Rocky himself admitted in an interview with The Genius that every time he put out a new project, he ended up losing someone close to him. Every time I put out an album, or every time I'm about to release an album, for some I'm strange reason, man. You know what I'm saying? I always lose somebody close to me. It was my pops, it was James, it was my sister. Like, I always lose somebody close to me. So, and industry sacrifices. The Grammy for Best R&B Album goes to Jennifer Hudson. Some fans have even speculated that Jennifer's family tragedy might have been the price she paid for her Oscar-winning performance in Dreamgirls. Remember, she had never acted in a movie or TV show before this. And yet, she won an Oscar. Meanwhile, there are many veteran actors and actresses with decades of experience who have never won an Academy Award. Now listen, there are plenty of conspiracy theories about Hollywood that are totally insane. But can we really just brush this off? Especially knowing how the industry actually works. There's a lot of dark energy in Hollywood. And whether or not you want to believe people literally get sacrificed, you can't ignore that some things just don't add up. So now I want to hear what you think about Kanye's mom, Donda's passing. Was her death just a tragic circumstance? Or do you think Kanye meant it literally when he said she was sacrificed? Leave your thoughts in the comments and I'll catch you in this next video.